you are having a wonderful day and evening thus far. We're going to dive right into some divine inquiries, that ultimate question, the start of this inner looking in the path that we call the path. Who am I? So, go ahead and get those last few wiggles out. I lovingly invite you into the space of the heart to drop all tensions of the day, to simply be present in this slice of now. As we fold together in this inner looking, we want to take a deep breath in and release an exhale or any sound you need. When you hear the first 3 taps of the singing bowl, with every sound of the bowl as it rings, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, transmute that breath into a mighty and powerful Om. Allow that A note to resonate, and as you lower and rather close the mouth, the U and the M will form naturally. Give yourself the opportunity to marinate in that 4th note, the silence. Release the body of breath. Allow yourself to drop all distractions, internal and external. Be present. Allow yourself to kick back in that movie theater of the mind, of the beingness, and simply observe all that is happening from that point of the witness, and that sense of awareness we know as me, myself, and I. It's here in this ever unfolding moment we call the now, the present, that we have the opportunity to explore. So let go of the past, pay no attention to the future, and simply be as you are in this restful yet attentive state. When you hear this final tap of the singing bowl, again, shift your attention to the sound of the bowl as it rings. And as that fades into silence, so too shift your attention and gaze inwards towards that calm, that quiet, that emptiness and stillness. That eternal presence, that silent witness, that intuitive knower. Who is it? We know this sense of awareness, this presence of being as the self, as ourselves, but what are we absent of external identifications and attachments? Who are we? Beyond all attributes soaked up in our early youth in this realm of conditioning. And that ancient question, who am I, is one that has been passed down since we started writing anything down itself. For this experience, this existence means nothing unless we fully determine who is it that is living the life we are witnessing. And that's what brings this timeless, this ageless question to the forefront of our own inner looking. Who are you before you are named? Who are you absent of these self-proclaimed knowings and assumptions? When we look at our experience In our early youth, we are that dry sponge soaking up the lessons, the learned behaviors, the expressions, the perceptions, indiscriminately. It matters not what it is, we simply build our own perspective of self in this world based on others. Out of a blind trust, out of the ignorance of youth. But ultimately, it was because each of us was tasked to come here and return back to Source. But this inner looking, this direct path only arises when we end the external search and come to look within. To return to that door in which we exited and entered from previously. To come back into that intimate knowing, that ocean of beingness. The mind is a tool for questioning, so it will never be able to provide you the answer to this question itself. And in most cases, the mind goes quiet, for it is outside of its scope and realm of understanding. For you are not the changing fads and seasons that come and go. You are not the body itself. For we observe this sense of beingness in self, even in the dream state, absent of flesh. In that magical, imaginative playscape. Just as in this playground we assume our position in the play purely because of the form we get to operate. But it is just as magical and mystical as the dream state. Yet each intangible and tangible realities are observed from that center point, that window of awareness you know as self. So what is that me that we sense as the meanness? Who are we, absent of anything itself? What is the aroma of your presence? Who are you beyond the experiences you've lived? What is everything anchored to other than that knower? That sense of being. Marinate in that presence, that I am, absent of anything else. Rest as you are and observe the radiance, the glow of your own essence. Anyone can say and tell another what we are from a logical aspect of this experience in the spiritual sense, that we are the divine embodied, that we are Source playing a giant game of masquerade. But it matters not unless you come to the experiential knowing, which requires an opportunity. One can't even call it work, for the simple task is to rest and marinate within yourself. You have to allow yourself to flow down a river like a leaf and allow the natural unfoldment to arise spontaneously, for it cannot be forced. But the fundamental misstep or sin that we become trapped in is this identification with the flesh, with the identification of the internal phenomena, the emotions, the sensations, and most pivotally, the mind. But your soul, your sense of self is but the rider. And this body is the horse. Meaning everything that arises within it also is that horse in which you ride upon. If one's identification and understanding of self is intimately intertwined with the mind, distance yourself with the breath. For if you really were the mind, when it drops, you too would cease to be. But even then, in these moments of stillness and calm, you're still present and aware. You are not the emotions, for if you truly were the sensations and feelings of each one, you would be stuck in those states eternally. But you are the observer of everything within you and outside of you. So what is that? Who is that knower? When we pull this thread, the sweater unravels. But only here through the heart can we truly and ultimately come home. For this is an expression, an act of love. Are you marinating in yourself, or are you caught up in the external and internal distractions? See them no differently as a moth flying around the flame, drawn towards it. But in the pureness of your being, all is consumed, so rest. The beauty of this experience is that the body itself was tasked to guide you home. But it has become unruly when we fully give it permission to be as our identity and identification, that attachment of self, gives it permission. So you must reclaim your proper stance, your proper position in the play. Bring it back to that fundamental knowing that your body, your noble and trusted steed, is here as a friend, not an enemy. But it is still a child of the earth, just as every other creature is. Therefore, it becomes unruly when it doesn't get its way, so you must come back to that point of discipline. For in truth, it only does this because you've given it power so long, and that is the true antagonist it has become, to test you, to challenge the heart, to see if you are willing to overcome its many temptations of flesh, and to return home to source knowing. To take that question, who am I, to completion. So befriend it. Just as you would with a kitten or a puppy, it is your friend, it is your ally, yet far too often do we misunderstand how it speaks and communicates to us. That in which it ultimately has tensions and fears for, outside of those physical threats to its livelihood and life. We can say that that antagonistic voice comes in one of opposition, tension. When's the last time you've done the opposite of what the body told you? What happened when it did? We must come to see, just like the mind, the body makes up most of its stories, veiled in a fragment of truth. Yet that line of the truth in the imagination begins far sooner than we may believe, but it uses those past pains, those stored memories, as a protection mechanism because, again, it was tasked by Source to keep you safe here. Because this world is harsh. For we are not all fully awakened and aligned with that divine knowing of our origin and our interconnectedness. And there is no such thing as an ego death, but you simply wake up from the misidentification that you are the body and flesh and the happenings within it. For when the body drops, that ego drops, and you cease to be in this plane. Come to know that is the ultimate task of why we must overcome this fleshly body, because it's our first love. It's our partner. It's our noble steed to guide us through this life back home. Yet we can make this a miraculous and beautiful dance when we allow it to be. When we come to understand how it communicates with us with those tensions. But just like any spoiled animal or child, it becomes unruly and you must discipline it through love. Not aggression, not combat, not war. When we look at the justifications for the mind to continue its stories, we must question honestly how many of those imaginary scenarios have actually come to fruition. For many, it's less than 1%. Yet that tiny sliver on that pie chart of experience is used to attach ourselves and identify with every fear-ridden emotion, sensation, and thought that arises within this body. So distance yourself. Recognize that you are the observer, you are the witness, you are the knower, and nothing can come to fruition unless you give the permission so. The mind, the body itself may tempt you at any chance it gets, but be present. Who are you beyond the flesh? Who are you beyond the job? Who are you beyond the family member? Who are you beyond your name? Come to your knowing before anything was identified and attached. With that wisdom of age. It's here that love, that essence, that light will shine. Pay it no attention when the body tries to distract you and keep you from this knowledge and knowing. But come home to the silence, the stillness. And everything else will melt away. The question, who am I, is asked, but is not answered by you. It is simply realized. Because the you in which we identify with is wrapped around so many falsehoods of what we're not and never have been. For the essence of our beingness is eternal, infinite. It is already perfection. Again, we are already what we seek. When we came into this world, you were already given everything you need to escape this matrix of light and love. And to play the game from that position of knower. To truly and intimately understand the play itself. So let go. Let go of the expectations, let go of the assumptions. Let go of any knowing. And allow yourself to marinate in that beingness. For the who am I is truly revealed when we let go of everything. That is the role and purpose of self-realization. You realize what you've always been when you're lovingly and willingly ready to let go of all in which you're not. Then the position naturally comes back as the rider of this steed. And in that point, we enter that path of self-mastery, learning how to operate with the knowings in harmony with this trusted horse we call the body. And that is the beauty of this experience. That is the magic of this play of life. So allow that heart to shine, allow that heart to smile as you simply marinate. in that primordial, timeless, divine inquiry of who am I? If the mind is racy and antsy, allow it to be, for you are not the mind. There is no need for you to cease its operation. There is no need for you to be caught up in its many distractions. It will talk and talk and talk as long as you are entertained by it. So give your beingness the opportunity to watch as if you are a bird or a dog looking at squirrels from the window. Simply rest and allow the natural unfoldment to arise. That separation. And as that detachment continues to build space in between the intimate knowings of the internal environment and the witness of it, naturally, little by little, and spontaneously and greatly, will you awaken from the dream that you are somehow this body and all the happenings that arise within it. When you hear the final tap of the singing bowl, shift your attention fully to the sound of the bowl as it rings. And as you exhale, transmute that breath into a powerful and mighty Om. Release the body of breath here. Namaste. I bow to the divine within you. Such a juicy one. And that's the power of this simple question. And we all come home to that same space of being once we carry it to completion. For those that are seriously interested in this first primary activation of awakening, transcending and awakening on the level of the mind, sit with it. It will tempt you. It will try to carry you along this valley of shadows of death, but pay it no attention. Simply have that divine Buddhahood, that no, no, no. And if you find yourself getting caught up in a thought, bring yourself back. And every time you bring yourself back, that space gets further and further away. And that's the beauty of the dance, is that we can only come to realize this if we give ourselves the opportunity to receive such grace. So I hope that this introspection helps you in your journey. And ultimately, I encourage everyone to really sit with their mind. Have some intentional space to sit and not get up until you awaken from it. That's the power, and that's the opportunity that each of us holds. Is a choice. So the one thing that really rings true to this is your body is a horse guiding you along the consciousness in this journey of life. It's here to protect you. It's here to get you to and from. It's here to explore. But if you believe you are that horse, it's going to take you astray. If you get caught up in the internal happenings and identify and attach with them, it's going to lead you astray. And that's its role, to test your willingness. Because we all have the slate wiped clean, our memory scrubbed, because it has to be a loving choice to come back home to the Creator. Remember your position in the play. And if it's still intimately identified with that noble steed, give yourself the opportunity to separate through love, not opposition. Because truthfully, the body wants this. It's always trying to get us back home to this. And it loves the high vibe, love and light, like life and lifestyle. Because it's that liberation that we receive just like when we were children. So, with that, may the fruit of knowledge offer a seed. And in that seed may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment, for a tree shall grow. And in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all whom ask. Namaste. I'm bow to the divine within you. I love you so much. I'll tap in with you Sunday. And seriously, Sunday this time. I was super busy this weekend. Very tired. Needed a rest. So I'll catch up with you later. I love you so much. Peace. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things. Like, subscribe, share.